Good evening, folks. Sorry to be late to sunset 112 in our COVID-19 series. Just trying to do too much as usual. I'm Carlina Salguero, and I'm on top of the wheelhouse of the historic ship Mary A. Whalen, which is the home of the maritime nonprofit that I founded and run, PortSide NewYork. We are located in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Lower Manhattan over there, this man-made body of water's Atlantic Basin. This here is Pier 12, and there's a big chunk of the Mary. We are surrounded by a sea of asphalt, also part of the Atlantic Basin. And we just put most of the pandemic pop-up mini park back together today. Thanks to some new volunteers, very exciting. And I have decided that it's time to celebrate a bit tonight. So, what I don't know is I did not, for getting up here late, open up the bottle of wine yet. Can I figure out how to open up this thing on the bottom of the phone without... I try and park the phone there on this little bracket. What are you looking at if I do that? You're looking at nothing of interest. Sorry. Well, let me try this. There you go. Whoops, watch it fall over. Jury rigging something here. Will that work? No. Maybe that phone will stay there. So, you open a bottle of wine. You have a sailboat coming up the buttermilk. Looks like somebody's party boat over by the Statue of Liberty. Tonight's offering, it's a new thing I've learned about thanks to Jonathan Van Dusen. Brochi, I guess it's pronounced. It's a bubbly red from a very wonderful wine store in Red Hook, Wet Whistle Wines. Owned and operated by the charming and helpful Corey Hill. Now I can't get through the floor, I didn't bring a knife. Hi, we love musicians. You gonna play? You what? You're gonna practice? What are you practicing? Cool. You're not very good? All right, well, we'll throw you out. No. What kind of music you play? Nice. Well, enjoy. We just put the park back up. We had to put it all away from the storm yesterday. Yeah, it was all gone. It was an empty parking lot until a little while ago. You're welcome. Two people on bikes showing up with musical instruments on their backs. They say they're not very good and they're going to practice, so let's see what happens. So, I am celebrating because life is hard. And there's been plenty of bad news, and it's still a struggle. And we're still here with the goddamn virus. And it's still tough. And I'm like, well, you know, just point out the good things. Decide to celebrate, because otherwise, life is chewing sand. So there we are. So, with that, boom. Here I will share with you so you can see. If you're visual people like me. By the way, the weird black gloves, or I use that to muffle the wind on the phone microphone. Salud, chin chin. And now I will start turning the phone around again for you. So, anyway, I've dropped the phone. Tonight is going to be a different sort of sunset, clearly. So, with the gloves back on, maybe you won't hear the noise of the wind so much. Back on the phone, that is. So right now we have the NYC Ferry Sunset Crossing coming in, leaving a nice big crescent of a wake. Well, it's a nice crescent. Wakes aren't nice, but the crescent is nice, aesthetically speaking. not infrastructurally speaking. Or my new favorite adverb, pandemically speaking. There's been a lot of pandemically stuff around here lately. We're still in the bloody pandemic. Okay, we've got somebody sailing there across the harbor. That's very nice to see. Boat underway. And by the way, folks, I am going to go sailing. Former PortSide board member Dominic Venuto has invited me to join him in Maine sailing. It's just going to be 3 days of sailing, you know, fish and house guests 3 days. And I'm going to drive up to Maine, borrowing his boyfriend Caleb's car, and drive back. So I'm not sharing any air on the train or plane or bus with anybody. Look at this, busy maritime activity, southbound New York water taxi, southbound push boat, tug pushing loaded barge or barges, I can't see. The noise of wheels on the NYC ferry dock, ferry Sunset Crossing and loading. So anywho, I am out of town on this mini vacation. This is the first time off, actually, since all of this started. I worked even when I had COVID-19, even if it was only for an hour and a half. So, I'm leaving Saturday, what is that? 14th or 15th? And coming back on the 19th. 3 days of sailing, 2 days of driving. Don't know what happens about sunsets then. Would you like a guest sunset streamer, if I can find such a person? Let me know. Now, Facebook and its vicious algorithms are probably not going to let me see this live feed from the Mary Whalen for a while. Nope, as usual, it'll be super delayed, so I can't see any comments. But I know that you all can speak up later and let me know what you want to do about sunsets in my absence. I gotta tell you, this is not much color here tonight. Maybe it will intensify. It's extraordinarily slow. If I go up, there's some wispy pink gauze. One layer of gauze of the lightest pink. There's some curious little Phillips. That's spelled with an F in this case. Not Mr. Phillips. Over there. We have sludge on the horizon over there. Modulated to a slightly rosy sludge over there. It's a more promising situation around here to the southeast, where there's an effort to make some rosy something. I think the color's going to develop here. I can see it already. So we should just wait. Wait. And I will drink wine. You can drink wine too, by the way. I just can't see it. It's quite breezy up here. Anyway, I hope you all came through yesterday's storm okay. I know it did some real damage some places. I confess to still be tired. An awful lot of work getting ready for the thing. You know, it was a long, hard day the day before here, starting at 8 a.m. 0800. We went until about 9:30. Peter was the last one to leave, and then I did more stuff. I went to bed after midnight. But we secured everything. Nothing of ours got damaged. I saw lots of tree limbs, tree branches down. So I hope everybody's safe. There are a lot of power outages. Con Ed reported that I heard secondhand. This was the third in the rankings for the most damaging storm in terms of power outages, being Sandy, Hurricane Sandy, or Superstorm Sandy technically, Hurricane Irene, and this storm yesterday, whose name I'm always mangling, Zaius or whatever it is. All the musicians behind me, I can hear the violin. She claims they're not very good, or he claims they're not very good, but she sounds nice. It's so nice they found a place to rehearse. Back when we were in the container port, there was a bagpiper who showed up now and again, and he showed up once down here. You can imagine you can't practice your bagpipes in an apartment. Your neighbors would kill you. So, and these times musicians are headed outside. That's why they've started to put on performances in our pandemic pop-up. Just because they like to make music. Whether it's a paid gig or not, if they're just playing in a parking lot, they come out. That and the sound of the skill saw. Peter is beefing up Chiclet's house, which was really delaminating in a bad way. That's something else pandemically delayed. A volunteer was building her one in late February, early March, and, well, the virus happened. Now, there's this shapely old low tug moving across the harbor there, which of course on the zoom here you can't tell the shape, it just is a blob, I'm sure. And then that other vessel, is that a circle line boat, long and lean? Bit more harbor activity in the tour department. But the boats have to maintain the social distancing thing too. You may have seen some articles. There was one in the New York Times, one of the Daily News. Our neighbor down here on the pier, Liberty Bell, the replica paddle wheeler with the red and white stacks down there, got busted this past weekend by the New York sheriff for not maintaining social distancing on board. I think also lack of liquor licenses and a bunch of other sorts of things. But let's focus on the celebrations and get us over the hump of life and coronavirus. I toast you all. Those little clouds out there are trying. They're trying to make some color. Helpful clouds, thank you. Hideous Facebook is not yet showing me the live stream when I look at it from my own personal page. I hope it's happening. I hope you can see it. Life. Well, there I thought something nice was going to happen in the rose department to the southeast, and it's completely vaporized and gone. This is definitely going to be a subtle sunset here. Alright, let's try and be zen about this. Can you hear the music over the wind? cracking on the violin there, but still. Nice. Let's all count our blessings. In this pandemically and politically contorted time. That was me typing a question on the Mary Whalen page, which maybe somebody will answer. I can see the post, sorry to be late. Is the sunset streaming? I can't see a streaming sunset more recently than that. When I look at the Mary Whalen page from the Carolina Salguero account on Facebook. Because Facebook. Because Facebook doesn't really show you what you want to see. Facebook shows you what they want to show you. Not bad, guys. Nice. I enjoyed that. It's still quiet in here today. Yesterday, it was really as if a neutron bomb was dropped. Nobody came down here, except for one woman. I was sitting on the deck late in the day, actually updating Facebook, and suddenly I hear a woman's voice say, "Is this a pop-up?" And I was so startled. Someone had left the gate at the north end of the pier open, and she's forgotten her name. Begins with J. Judith. Professor, loves Brooklyn history. She'd never been here before. She was just beside herself with excitement. And she saw our sandwich board about the pop-up park, which is tucked against the shed there to be out of the way of the wind, and thought this was the pop-up. And I said, no. And then she went off biking, all enthusiastic about discovering Red Hook and enjoying its being like a neutron bomb again. I haven't seen as many people in Atlantic Basin today. There's some people over there on bikes right now. Oh, there's a guy on a skateboard. We've got two couples in the park behind me. Me texting someone to ask if the sunset is streaming, because I still can't see it. Great. So John Avery has confirmed for me that the sunset is streaming. So then all of this is just really the wonders of Facebook that I can't see it. Unbelievable. I guess I'll have to put PortSide's account on my personal cell phone, so I'm watching it as Mary Whalen's own page. Yep, it's not there yet. Well, sorry folks not to be able to answer any comments or questions. I will find out how you all are and how you came through the storm once I finish the stream. Well, we've now reached the blue hour. When the lights, the warm man-made lights, have an inviting glow against the blue. So here we are. Peter's tucked away in the bunker, the defunct toilet that we've commandeered as our workshop, storage area, whatever. They're in the corner behind that red door. You can see it's a very quiet parking lot tonight. No kids biking or on wheels, motorcycles. But these two people practicing music. Nice. Let's count our blessings. Let's count our blessings in this terrible time. Keep our chins up. Help each other out. Alright folks, I am going to sign off and wish you good night. Stay strong, Brooklyn strong. Do everything you can to not get or spread this horrible virus. I don't care your political position, just wear the bloody mask. Practice the social distancing. Wash your hands. There's the backing ferry backing out. Wash your hands, don't touch your face. Stay strong. Help your neighbor. Hang together. And with that, good night.